Hi everyone, Peter James here. We still haven't seen the Department of Education contract come in, and we're itching to try and get to you all of the information we can about next year's contracts and pricing and so on. But unfortunately without that contract we haven't been able to finalise that. It should be any day now, we hope. But I thought in the meantime I'd fill you in about some of the underlying issues that we'll be addressing in the pricing. So some of you may remember this diagram from a couple of years ago where we explained what the costs of chaplaincy are. So we have your base salary costs, so what we pay you in the hand. We have the employment on costs, things like your professional supervision and conference and your leave provisions. And then we have the Scripture Union administration and support costs, things like banking and finance and audit and compliance and so on. So in the pricing that the work we've done so far, we've looked at the SU costs for next year and we've decided that we don't need to increase that at all. We can continue to provide the support that we provide to you for no additional cost. It's in the middle area here that we will see some change, and this is why we've been waiting for the Department of Education contract. Things like the charging of money so that we can pay leave costs when schools will only pay for a service while you're at school now under the policy. We still need to have enough money to pay you any leave costs that you accrue or that you take when you're sick or away from school. And then in the base salary area, we've been looking at the band structures that we've had over the last few years. And while chaplains have been able to go up in salary through bands, the band dollars themselves have remained pretty much static for the last few years. And what that's meant is that the inflation effect on the band figures is starting to bite. So we think it's time that we should increase the dollar amounts for those bands to make sure that chaplains are not being disadvantaged with the cost of living and inflation and so on. So what that will mean is that chaplains will all get a pay increase this year under our new band structures, as well as some of them moving up through the bands. The details for that will be available when we've got the pricing for the employment on costs with the department contract. So we'll give all of that to LCCs. We'll give you tables, we'll give you some calculations as well to try and make it as easy as we possibly can. Now we know that the cost of raising these funds sits with LCCs. We know you work incredibly hard and pour so much of your time and effort into raising money so that you can see as many hours as possible into schools. So being so late in the piece with the department changes coming in, we won't be able to tell you that pricing for another few days. I hope it's only a couple of days, but we'll send that all to you, and we know that you'll need time to think that through and work out how many hours in every week you can afford for each chaplain. We know that that takes a lot of work. We'll support you in every way we possibly can. And we'll support you in your fundraising efforts, and our field team will be working hard with you in any way we can support you. So we just want to acknowledge that it is something that LCCs will need to work through. There'll be time in the new year to do that and to put through any hours changes that are needed. For chaplains, if you're paid at a slightly higher rate and there's no additional funds, it might mean that hours reduce a little bit so that you get the same amount of money in your pocket at the end of the day. If your LCC is able to raise a little bit more so that you can keep your hours, then you ideally would be getting a pay increase in your pocket. So you'll see the detail when that all comes out. I know that's a lot. I hope it's helpful. We'll send the email with all the detail as soon as we possibly can. So for now, I hope the rest of the term is a really good one and rich one for you and your families. You have a fantastic end of term and a really well-deserved break at the end of the year. So thank you and God bless you.